Mini episode 1109 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge Mini Episode 1209. I'm FDH Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our preview of Better Call Saul Episode 5.8. Here's our top 5 notes of interest coming out of Episode 5.7. Number 5, we called it. Howard knew that Jimmy was the one committing the cruel pranks on him, and Howard called him on it while still expressing sympathy for Jimmy's twisted state of mind, which only made Jimmy crazier, which Howard probably knew would happen. Now that all the cards are on the table, it's hard to see how the show keeps Howard on the canvas, but you just know that if they do, it's going to be in his service of another incredible story. Number 4. Mike's sympathy for Nacho only goes so far. He was willing to put in a word with Gus if Nacho could keep Lalo sidelined, but of course, Lalo's too crafty to be cornered for long. Nacho's getting into the double agent game deeper and deeper, even as his successes are keeping Lalo's suspicions at bay, for the time being anyway. Number 3. Kim showed some real steel with Kevin. The new Mrs. Saul Goodman preserved her lucrative working relationship with Mesa Verde, and perhaps even her own job, by going on offense in the aftermath of the previous week's disastrous ambush. In so doing, she telegraphed not merely her increasing toughness in the legal field, but a willingness to stand up for herself that could prove to be a decisive factor in her story when, not if, her husband betrays her next. Number 2. Some people just talk about commitment. Gus was actually willing to burn down Los Pollos Hermanos to prove his. He will not abandon his grudge against the cartel and the Salamancas in particular, but he will not show his cards until he is holding 4 aces. We know that this point is just over 5 years down the timeline of the story, so that straddle is bound to call for steep sacrifices at various points. When his cartel mole Nacho is called upon to burn down the restaurant, Gus agrees to facilitate the act so that he can keep his spy in place for bigger purposes. When you see this level of commitment in his backstory, you understand even more why he came to distrust and disdain Walter White in later years for his lack of discipline in business. Number 1. Wow, Kim actually married Jimmy. As we said last week, it's going to be fascinating to see why Kim is abandoning the lessons that she learned from her decision to cut ties with her dysfunctional mother. This time she's doubling down on her relationship, despite going into it knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that she cannot trust her new husband. Decisions like this prove that there was some truth in what Jimmy threw in her face at the end of last season. She likes to get in the muck with him sometimes, situationally, before she decides that he's gone too far, when he's just being who he naturally is. So inevitably, there's got to be a fatal blow-up in this marriage when she feels betrayed by his actions, and he feels betrayed by being judged by a woman who vacillates between tolerating his dark side and being repulsed by it. That's going to be an incredibly sad moment, but undoubtedly some great TV at the same time. Thank you for tuning in to this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.